Welcome everyone to Ask the Priest Live, Pandemic Edition. Today is the 29th of June 2020, and we just finished the Vespers and Matins service for martyrs Manuel, Ismael, and Sabil, and we'll have Divine Liturgy tomorrow morning. But before we go on, let's begin with a prayer as we always do. O heavenly King, O Comforter, O Spirit of truth, who art everywhere present and fillest all things, treasury of good things and giver of life, come and dwell in us and cleanse us of all impurity, and save our souls, O good one. All right, everyone, welcome. I see people are signing on. That's great. Please let us know where you're signing on from as you do that. Some of you I know, so I can announce that, but it's always nice to let us know where you're joining us from. We're a little bit late today, and that happens sometimes when we have evening services on Mondays. We finished the service maybe a little bit less than 10 minutes ago, and now we have the opportunity to have Ask the Priest. But it's been such a weekend, a great weekend, great day today, that there's not even a script. So it could be a complete train wreck, or it could be the best ever. Probably it's going to be one of those two. So please remember that this is live. We need you to ask questions by typing into the comments section, and when you do that, then the comments come up on the screen. I can see them, and then I can answer your questions. So that's really helpful, and we hope that you will do that, because I didn't have a chance to prepare any questions. I have some things to say, and we'll share that with you, and try to get some information out to the parish and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, if you have questions, if you can ask them, that'll be great. So let's begin without further ado. Yesterday, we had the great blessing in our parish to have the ordination of Colin Bauer to the Diaconate. That happened at the Diocesan Cathedral in Des Plaines, Illinois, which is just right next to O'Hare Airport in Chicago. And so it was a really wonderful, wonderful weekend. I was able to go over there on, Friday, because on Saturday morning, actually Saturday for most of the day, we had final exams and the thesis defense for our senior students, the graduating seniors in the pastoral school of the Diocese of Chicago in Mid-America. That's one of the obediences that I'm blessed to have, is to be the dean of the school, and so we were able to organize everything, and it just worked out. Since we're back in the God-preserved state of Michigan, we can say this without anybody else getting upset. All the graduates were from the Michigan Deanery, and it was great. So we had Higher Deacon Alexei, who came from the St. Sergius and Herman Monastery in Houghton. We had our Deacon Colin Bauer, who was a subdeacon when he took the exam, here from Ann Arbor, and we had Subdeacon Micah Chisholm, who's serving at our mission of St. Sebastian in Traverse City. So it was great. It was really wonderful. They all defended their thesis successfully, and they all graduated. So they all passed also their exams. So that was really great. It was a wonderful day. And the committee was Vladika Peter himself, Father Andrei Popkov, who is the vice president of the school, myself, Father Martin Swanson, who's the emeritus dean, and Father John Whiteford from Houston, who is the assistant dean for academic instruction. So it was great to have for operations, actually. And Father John, right on time, just joined us. So Father John, welcome. We had Father John and Father Martin were remote, and Vladika, Father Andre, and I were there in the room with the graduates. So it was a really great opportunity on Saturday for our graduates. Then, of course, we had a nice vigil at the cathedral, and we had Divine Liturgy on Sunday. And as I mentioned, our subdeacon Colin Bauer was ordained a deacon. So that was great. And we returned home lickety-split as fast as we could. We had liturgy this morning, this evening, Vespers and Matins. Tomorrow morning, Divine Liturgy. Tomorrow evening, Vespers and Matins. I think you're probably seeing a pattern here, which is starting to form. So every evening at 6 o'clock, we have an evening service this week. Sometimes it's going to be Vespers or Matins. For St. John of Shanghai and San Francisco, it's going to be Vigil, and every morning, Divine Liturgy. And it's a nice, every week is nice to be able to serve liturgy every day, but this is kind of an interesting week because the services, most of them are so simple that we don't even hear the Beatitudes that we usually sing on Sunday liturgies. There's a special antiphons which are sung on the very simple days. And interestingly, they have the same melody as the antiphons that are sung on the huge feast days like Pascha and Nativity and Pentecost. Same exact hymnography. So different words, but it's very interesting and very beautiful. So please, we'll try to broadcast everything here on Facebook. We're also broadcasting on our audio stream, so please join us 8 o'clock every morning and 6 o'clock every evening this week, and come to church if you can. We ask you to sign up, just so that we don't have too many people that sign up, and we can always use our overflow space if we do that, but it gives everybody in the parish an opportunity to be positively impacted by the grace of the ordination, by the fact that Colin has become a deacon. Now we get to have service every day this week, and that's a real blessing for us, because everybody's got to work or everybody's got other stuff to do, but not everybody has to work every day, and not everybody has other stuff to do every day. There's some days that you might be able to come, and certainly you can join us on the live stream, and we hope that you'll do that. Please note that on Saturday the liturgy will begin at 9 o'clock. That's also the 40th day for our brother Nick Vlasidis, and as long as the weather holds, we'll have the Panikhida at the gravesite in the parish cemetery. If it doesn't, we'll have it in church. So please join us then, and please remember Nick, especially in your prayers on that day. This Sunday, we are going to begin liturgy at 9 o'clock. For those of you who were here yesterday at St. Vladimir's, I was in Chicago in an air-conditioned cathedral. You were here outside where it wasn't air-conditioned, and the word on the street is it was really hot. And we're sorry about that, but that's why we're moving to 9, because that 11 to 12 hour, it heats a lot. And so we're hoping if we are beginning the service at 9, we're wrapping up right around 11, and hopefully we're missing that real hot hour from 11 to 12, and it'll be less uncomfortable for people. So please make a note of that. This Sunday, starting at 9 o'clock until, and that means essentially all summer long, and well into the fall, I would think, until it just becomes too cold for us to be able to serve outside. Then by then, hopefully, we won't be in the pandemic anymore, but if we are, well, we'll figure it out. With God's help, we'll figure it out, and we thank you for your patience and ask you for your prayers as we continue to try to figure that out. Now, so 9 o'clock liturgy. Other big news. After a lot of debate and conversation and, really collaborative work together on the festival committee, we've decided that it's just impossible for us to be able to hold the Russian festival safely this year. And because, we just don't know what's going to happen. I suppose the virus could disappear, but I doubt that that's going to happen. And we need to start yesterday. If we're going to have a festival, we need to start even before that, but at least yesterday, we need to be working hard. And it's very hard for us, having consulted with the health department. They essentially told us, we just don't know. We don't know. You could get everything ready and we could cancel on you the day before. And you just can't do that, because this is a big investment. It's an investment of 5 figures, relatively big 5 figures, in order to be able to hold the Russian festival. And the last thing we want to do is get all the tents and all the chairs and all the tables and spend all that money on the food. And to hear, on Thursday or Friday, the health department say, you know what, the virus is too bad now, we're going to shut you down. And so it's just not practical. It's not good stewardship for us to do that. And so this year, unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel the Russian festival. We've already put up the dates for 2021 on the Russian festival website and on the Russian festival Facebook page, so check that out. If I recall correctly, it's the 18th and 19th of September. But anyway, don't take my word for it. I'm exhausted right now, so who knows what's coming out of my mouth. Check the Facebook or the website for the Russian festival to be sure. All right, so that's some important stuff that's going on at St. Vladimir's that we're able to tell you about, and we hope that you'll take note of those things, because there's some pretty important things in there. Liturgy at 9 o'clock on Sundays, no Russian festival, unfortunately, Colin's ordination and graduation from the pastoral school, fortunately. So some good, and some maybe not so good, but it's information that we need, and it's important information for our parish. So please make note of that. Fasting this week, please have a look at the parish schedule. If you go to the website, on the right-hand side there, it says current schedule. Does it say current schedule or current calendar? I think current schedule. Anyway, click on that and you'll see there the fasting for this week. We continue to fast through July 12th at the end of the Divine Liturgy. We announced on Sunday, and thank you to Father Daniel Chirac, who served, by the way. That was great. And we ended up with 3 deacons. John came from Ferndale, and we had Father Vladimir and Father Dimitri, so that was nice. I got to watch a little snippets of that on Facebook, but not very much of it. In any case, Father Daniel announced yesterday the impending marriage of Reader David Borg and Chloe Leder, and that'll take place on July 12th at St. Vladimir's. So please make note of that also. Another good thing, life goes on. Pandemic or no pandemic, life is going to go on, and that's one of those really wonderful things that we get to do as a parish family, is to help and witness a new family being born with the Lord's blessing by being married in the church. For those who haven't been married in the church, and then, for whatever reason, well, maybe this is the time. Maybe that pandemic year is the year that you say, okay, that's it, we're doing it. Because really, if you're not married in the church and you're living together, you're really living in sin, and that's not something that we want to be doing. That's not a good way. That's not good to help us with our salvation. So please talk to me if you have questions about that, and we will be very happy to discuss that with you. I see that Father Johan mentioned that it was a little bit humid as well yesterday. Yeah, sorry that we missed you all, but thank God that we got to be outside. That week before was just a nightmare, with the crazy weather forecast just going from 0% to 100% to 0% thunderstorms. And thank God that we were able to be outside this last week. All right, good. So, as far as I know, that's everything that I have as far as announcements. Make sure that you're checking our website regularly and our Facebook page, because of course we're putting more things up there as well. I want to let people know that we're well in the swing of the summer semester for the pastoral school. If you haven't had a chance to register yet, but you are planning to register, probably this has to be the last week, and it may already be too late, because as with most summer schools, things are intense. They're twice as intense as they are in the rest of the for the other 2 academic semesters, and so probably not practical, but make note of that, because last year there was a summer semester, and this year there is one, and next year there's going to be one, forever as far as we know, and we hope, and so those summer classes are open to everybody. You don't have to already be a pastoral school student. You're welcome to join us, and that's something really interesting and really exciting. You can learn a lot there, and some of our most highly rated classes are in the summer. So anyway, have a look at that, and we hope that if you didn't get a chance to join us this year, that you'll get a chance to join us next year. All right, good. So I think this is going to be one of those Ask the Priests that's kind of short, because I didn't have a chance to prepare anything in the script. There were some questions from last week. I wrote them down, put them on the script, and then life happened. And I'm sorry for that, but that means that next week's is going to be a really full and good discussion. Now, next week, Ask the Priest, again, will be a little bit late, because we have Vigil next week for the Nativity of St. John the Baptist, right? So July 6th is Vigil for the Nativity of St. John the Baptist, 6 o'clock, and by the time that we're all said and done, it'll probably be 8:15 to 8:30, just kind of depends on how that flows, for Ask the Priest next week. Then we should be kind of back on a regular schedule. So please make note of that. George Murphy is joining us from Memphis, and he's asking for prayers. So please do remember him, brothers and sisters. Please have a look at our prayer list, which we post on our website 6 a.m. every Sunday. That's where we have a list of those who have asked for prayers, and the list is not short. It's not ridiculously long, but it's not short. It's some pages. And if you would be so kind as to pray for those folks, we would be very thankful, and I know they would be very thankful as well. We've been threatening to have a rubrics course, and I think that threat may very well come true. We're going to do 2 courses, I believe, one in English and one in Russian, And then there may be some overlap as well, but this is one of those things that it may be easier in your native language. So we've been advertising that is going to come, but we haven't set a date yet. We hope to set that date this week, and we'll get that out and get the word spread. Now, for those who are desirous to help out at the church, and we are very thankful for that. Our brotherhood has really helped a lot during the pandemic. We've done a lot. I'd love to be able to take the camera back and show you the nice sidewalk that they have expanded in the back of the church, especially for when we have cross processions and we have the gospel reading back there. It's going to be great for St. Vladimir's Day. Thank God for that. There's going to be more of those kind of things happening. We have a bunch of stuff that we need to get done, and people seem to want to get together and work together in the pandemic, so that's awesome. If you would like to know more about that, you can contact me or send us an email at our info@stvladimiraami.org address, and we'll be happy to get you more information, or just leave us a message here or send us on Messenger or something on our St. Vladimir Facebook page. Those things are going to continue throughout the summer. We have, as I said, several projects that we want to try to execute and take advantage of the opportunity that the pandemic is giving us. I mean, it's good, it's bad. There's the bad, all of the death and the suffering, and we shouldn't make light of that. But there is the good, that we're able to spend more time with family. People aren't traveling as much, and traveling is great, don't get me wrong. Like when I went to Chicago this last week, I almost forgot how to pack. It's been so long, and I'm traveling all over the place. So, but nonetheless, we're kind of more home now during the pandemic, and that gives us an opportunity to do some stuff at the church, and we'd love to have you help us. And also, what has to happen essentially every week is that darn grass just keeps growing. But we have really nice mowers. I hate to say it, but I mean, don't tell your wives, but it's kind of fun to drive the zero-turn mower. And so we generally cut on Thursday evening, but we could do it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, any day. So again, please talk to me or send us a message here if you'd like to help. We have a sign-up sheet. You can find that on our homepage. And everybody's welcome to join in. We have plenty of machines, and many hands make light work. So if we got 3-4 people cutting the grass, we're going to get done really quickly, and we'll also get it trimmed, and it'll all look great. And that's even more important this year, since we're worshiping outside most of the time. So we don't want to be worshiping in a jungle, inhabited by ticks or something like that. So we keep the grass short. That's going to keep that from happening. All right. So I think we're done. Nobody's asked any questions. That's okay. But if you find our program and it's already in recorded form and not live on Facebook, please feel free to ask questions in the comment sections. We'll see that. We'll put it on the script for the coming week, or maybe we'll talk about it in the comment section. Kind of depends on the question, but most of the time we kind of reserve those for the next week. And as I mentioned, and please make note of it, that next week we will begin a little bit after 8, well, between 8 and 8:30. That's really because we have vigil that night. So if you make a note of that, or if you tune in at 8 o'clock, you're going to come to the vigil. Just remember, Father Gregory will be on after this, and we will be. All right, so let's say a prayer, and then we will say good night. It is truly me to bless thee, O Theotokos, ever blessed and most blameless and Mother of our God, more honorable than the cherubim, and beyond compare more glorious than the seraphim, who without corruption gavest birth to God the Word, the very Theotokos thee do we magnify. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We ask your prayers.